In this class, we'll discuss about what we mean by active voice and passive voice. Let us dive into this topic. So here, the active voice and passive voice topic here, that which are discussing here, so is one of the important point for any competition examinations. So why it is very important for any competition examinations is here, if you look at this active voice and passive voice, the active voice and passive voice generally, if you look at into a tense form, as per the tense form point of view, we look at here, you have a versatile classification here. So basically, totally in any tenses, generally you have present tense, past tense, and future tense. In this present tense, past tense, and future tense also, it is subcategorized into three categories. They are simple, simple continuous, simple perfect, or simple perfect continuous. So likewise, you can say simple past, like so simple present tense, likewise, okay. Likewise, you can see here simple, okay, present. So in a simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, okay. So but if you look at here, very simple thing here, that is in a simple present, or if you look at this simple present continuous tense, and then present perfect line like this and all here. So these categories normally you can see that the totally 4 into 3, totally 12 tenses are not available here. What are the tenses available here? Look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 are available here. And even in this 8 availability also, you can see if you look at a future, simple future and a future perfect, there is no future perfect, there is no future perfect continuous tense, okay. So likewise, future continuous is not there, future perfect continuous tense is also not there here, okay. So based upon this, you can understand that here not all sentences can be transformed from active voice to passive voice. That's the first point you have to remember. Keeping this point in mind, let us dive into the definition and then see detail what is the active voice and a passive voice. Here. So as per the definition point of view, we generally know, or else we have seen already in when we are discussing about the verb. So what is the definition of a active voice and passive voice? So when we discussed the concept of a verb, so there we discussed some small introduction to active voice and passive voice. So here I am going to extend the definition here. So what is this definition is, a voice refers to a form of a verb. Yeah, voice refers to a form of a verb that shows whether the subject performs an action or subject receives the action. Okay, so there is an action. So what is an action? So this action is, the other name is a verb. Okay, so action, occurrence, state. All these three things you can have in mind. Okay, so if it is performed, subject will perform action on the object. Likewise, then you can call this format as a this format, okay. So this format you can call it as a active voice. Active voice, okay. But when you want to convert this into passive voice, so what you should do is, copy this. And just to have a look at the logic here. The logic here is in this case the logic is, so the action is not going to be, this verb content is not going to be changed, but instead the subject position is going to be changed to here, and then the object is going to come here. Okay, so that is a basic logic here. Okay, so in order to perform this action, there are some rules. So you cannot directly use object verb like this. So in this format we cannot use. Why we cannot use is this is grammatically incorrect. So in order to make this grammatically correct, we have to use a verb called as to be. Okay, and also what we need to do is we need to do this extra here by the subject. So we need to write by the subject like this. Okay, so don't worry about the grammatic rule and all here. So just to understand the basic definition, you try to keep this point in mind. So here, to convert the active voice into a passive voice, we have to do some certain set of things. Okay, extra things. Okay, what are these extra things? We need to write plus to be by like this. We need to fill the sentence with the extra words so that the sentence meaning will be in a proper fashion. So that is the thing that we need to mind about. So this is one basic definition of an active voice and passive voice. So why you call active voice and where do you call passive voice? So according to the definition, what is the meaning of a active voice? So what do you mean by active voice is here, whenever the subject is performs the action, when the subject performs the action, yeah, we have written this. Okay, when the subject performs the action, then it is called as an active voice. So in order to demonstrate that subject performs an action, so this is the basic structure. So what is this basic structure is here? You can see subject, verb plus object. Subject, verb plus object. Okay, so Rama wrote a letter. Likewise, I love you. Rama, we can give some example, right? He hits the ball. Okay, so likewise, then she hangs the phone. Some name. Okay, whatever the names. So this is a pronouns. I have used the pronouns. So you can use the names and all this. Okay, so this is a very simple definition to understand what is a active voice. Active voice meaning is here the subject is performing the action. Simple point. Okay, now if it is coming to the passive voice, what is the structure and what we have to do? So if it's coming to the passive voice, the subject receives the action. The subject receives the action. So means the verb, that is action, occurrence or state, so has to be in the object position and then wherever the basic grammar structure, right? So for that, what we need to do is we need to follow a grammar structure. What is this grammar structure is here the objective of a active voice, whatever it is there, that we need to identify first. Then we need to identify the form of a verb which is called as a to be verb, wherever the to be verb is there. So this be verb form, that we need to identify. So first one is we need to identify the object. The second one is we need to identify the be verb form. Okay, then the verb that is there here, that verb, generally whatever the verb is there here, so that verb we need to take a past participle of that verb. Okay, so what do you mean by past participle here? Just I'm trying to write a simple example here. So for example here, go, V2 will be went, and V3 becomes a gone. Likewise, run, ran, run. Okay, so likewise we can don't take these examples, simple example builder. So kick, kicked, kicked. So like this forms. Okay, so kick, some lesson like this example. So this is a irregular verb, this is a regular verb. Okay, so we need to identify what is the past participle. So the past participle here is that V3 form, whatever the V3 form is there, and also the fourth one is we need to add the by word extra. Then the last one is here we need to add the fifth one, that is a subject we need to add. Okay, so how to do that? A letter was written by Rama. So look at here, a letter is a, Rama wrote a letter. Active voice is Rama wrote a letter. Okay, here the object is letter, the subject is Rama, or we can write this the same example. Rama wrote a letter. Yeah, same act voice. Yeah, same, Rama wrote a letter. Here write, wrote, written. Write, wrote, written is the V3 form verb. Okay, so here this is the verb. So the verb is in V2 form. So the sentence is a simple past. Okay, so Rama wrote a letter. So now for differentiation, I would like to use some color so that you will not have a confusion. Okay, so Rama wrote a letter. So now the letter is here. What is this letter? So the letter is the object. Okay, letter is the object, first one. Then we said the second point, the B verb form you have to mind about, right? So what is a B verb form? So B verb form here has been converted to was here. Okay, so that is the second point. Okay, then third one is a past participle of the verb. Past participle of the verb is V2 is write, wrote, written. So this becomes a third concept, third point. Okay, then we need to add by. Fourth point, then subject we need to add at the last. So this becomes a fifth point. Okay, so like this you need to be very careful while you are converting from active voice to passive voice. Okay, so these are the things, minimum basic things that you should maintain, some rules that you have to use for converting a active voice to a passive voice here. So this one is active voice. So in order to convert this active voice, so this is a grammatic structure, and based upon this structure you need to do in this fashion. That's one thing. Now let us look at the general rules. So we are not going to do only one tense here. We are going to use so there are some 8 tenses are there. So all the tenses we need to mind about. Okay. So here in this case, what are the general rules when you convert for conversion of a when you are converting from active voice to passive voice? So here, if you look at the point here, converting from active voice to passive voice, the subject and object, you need to identify the first point. What is a subject and what is an object? What is a subject and what is an object? Okay. Now, when you are converting this, finding about the subject and object, the subject of the active voice sentence, okay, that becomes an object in a passive voice. So that's the first point you should identify. Okay, you should first of all identify in an active voice what is the subject, and when you are converting that active voice into passive voice, so the subject will become a passive voice. Okay, so in a passive voice, the subject actually becomes an object. Okay, so just like you just remember like the simple logic here. Okay, so yes, we wo. Now when you're going to so this is basically going to be active voice. Okay, so when you are going to convert into passive voice, so remember that this yes is going to be the last point here in passive voice. Passive voice, so that yes is going to come in the last point. Okay, so this object, what happens to the object? The object will become like a subject here. Okay, then some rules and regulations. Okay, then v3, then again some rules and regulations. So all those things you have to keep in mind. Okay, don't worry about what is this rules in between, what is going to happen. So remember that this is the basic logic. Okay, basic logic. Now second point, what is a verb? So whenever you are converting from active voice to passive voice, so the verb should be in appropriate form. So when you are writing this passive voice, always remember you need to add the appropriate what we can call it as a right form of be verb. Right form of to be verb. Okay, and so that you need to identify, and then that for that respect to subject. So for each subject, that words will change, and then also you need to be mindful about the past participle. So always ensure that the verb is in V3 form. Second point. Then the tense form. Okay, so when you need to mind about tense here. Instead of keeping like this, so we can go like point by point. One, second point, third point. In a third point here, so always make sure that the tense that you are going to use, when you convert that active voice to passive voice, the tense is not going to change. Okay, so that basically for that reason, okay, so you are not interested in about so mostly about more conjugations and all. Okay, here try to remember that. So when the tense always should remain same. This is the first point. Always make sure the tense remains same, but verb changes from because of this. So verb generally will change because the subject becomes an object now. For that, don't worry about how this action is performed. So those things don't worry. Always make sure that this tense remains same. So maintain the tense format. Okay. Then the by, last one is a by. So use by before that respect to agent. So what is whoever the subject is there. So before the subject, when you are going to convert into an object, so here you have to use by object. Okay, so like this. Then pronouns, make sure this is very important. Fifth point, I would like to give 3 stars here. Okay, fifth point. So pronouns. So pronouns in the sense whenever we are changing this passive active voice to passive voice, okay, then we need to be mindful about what is the case. Okay, so for this what I'm trying to do is I have given this change when you're changing the pronouns. So when the pronouns are in active voice in this format, so you have these names, then when you convert it into a passive voice, you should be mindful about. Okay, so for example, I love you. Okay, or else I kick you. Okay, some names. Okay, so let us something. Okay, I love you, or I kick you, or I hit you, something. Okay, So here, you are hit by me. You are kicked by me. Kicked by me. Okay. You are loved by me. So there won't be any change here. Okay. So all the meanings are same here. All the verb format is not going to change. Okay. So verb meaning is not going to. So this is basically in V3 format. Okay. So that you need to be worried about. So you is not going to change in a passive voice. Okay. So that's why I have taken a very simple example here. So you are loved by me. So by, then be verb here, I love you. So here the be verb is not there here. So because the be verb here, it to be verb. Okay. So to be verb, when it comes to a singular, first person singular, it becomes are. Okay. So that's the reason why I am. Okay. You are. So this is a second person. You becomes a second person. So you are. Okay. So that's the reason why we have used are here. Okay. So there's the same be verb here. So like this. Now look at here. So I should be converted into me. We should be converted into us. Okay. We love you. We love you. You are being loved by us. Okay. So for example, I am going to convert it. So we love him. Okay. We love him. So he was. We love him or we love her. So he was loved by us. Okay, loved by us. So the verb is not going to change. Only the be verb is. So he is. He was. So that you just look at the grammar conjugations. So this is the thing. Basically, ultimately, this is the thing. Now, the next slide is tense-wise conversion chart. So yeah, this is very nice one here. In case of a tenses here, so if you look at based upon tenses wise, if you look at here, so you will not have a confusion. So this is, you can remember this charts and all here. So this would be a thumbprint, or else what you can call it as a something like important slides here for us. So what do you mean by this is here? So look at here, simple present so present continuous, present perfect, and there is no present perfect continuous. So one tense is not there here. Okay, totally four tenses should be here for a present tense, but one tense is not here. Why it is not there is here, there is no format for conversion of a active voice to passive voice conversion. So that is not there in English grammar. So that we'll look at the first one here. So in a simple present, look at here. If you look at a simple problem here, simple model here, she writes a letter. She writes. So why it became writes? If you look at verb form, V1, V2, V3, write, wrote, written. Okay. So when I was discussing this one point here in the previous class, I was talking about the point where there are some other verbs also, right? So V4. So V4 is a V4 and V5. Okay. So V4 is to be. Okay. So I plus V4 plus ing. Okay. So writing. Then V5 is becomes a this singular third person, that verb generally, usually people writes like this. They change, okay, V5, so V4, something, okay. So don't worry about what is the number here. So numbers, don't worry whether it is straight. So, but this is the thing, okay. So I don't like to give the numbering here. So some textbooks they'll give numbering or not, but it's not that, but they are not there, okay. In English grammar they are not there, but generally most of the people will identify with a number so that they can actually use it. So here, if you consider verb plus ing, then we use it for gerunds. Then this one, whatever the verb, if you are going to take and then add s or es at the end, then this becomes a singular third person. So that's only the difference which we have to be mind about, okay, singular third person. So other than that, so there is no any change here, okay. Present, past, past participle, present, past, present, past, past participle. So that's only the difference, nothing else, okay. So keeping this idea in mind, just try to solve the, just try to understand this example here. So in a simple present, she writes a letter. A letter is written by her. A letter is the verb form of her, okay. She is writing a letter. So she writes a letter. So this is becomes the verb form of be form of this, okay. A letter is written by her, okay. Then present continuous. In present continuous, she is writing a letter. Verb form plus ing, writing a letter. So because of this ing, this is going to be same, but being is the extra word that you have added here, written by her, okay. So is being for this present continuous. Now look at the next one, present perfect. In the present perfect, she has written a letter. She has written a letter, okay. Written a letter with V3 form, okay. This is already in V3 form. This is base verb, okay. Base verb that we are going to take into for a singular third person, we write yes, it's at the end. So that's only the difference here, okay. Now a letter has been written by her. Has been written by her. So other than these points and all, if you look at carefully, there is no any change in the words, okay. So if you go to the basic rules, the rule that we have just talked about, so these 5 rules, okay, 1, 2, so basically this is in a simple form, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay. So but that 1, 2, 3, what you have done, you have taken some extra second element in picture and also fourth element in picture, and then you segregated, so converted the verb into the past participle, and then you interchanged the subject into object and object into subject. So the same thing, same rule we have done, nothing changed. Very simple thing. She writes a letter is written by her. She is writing a letter is being written by her, okay, because ing is coming into picture, so it's a continuous tense, so is being written by her. So that's only the difference. She has written a letter has been written by her, okay. That's simple, okay. Already written, so this becomes a has been. So that's the difference you need to remember for conversion of a active voice into passive voice. Now coming to the next one, that is a past tense. In a simple past tense, in a simple past tense, the verb becomes V4, no? V2, okay. The verb is V2 form. So write, wrote, written, or would like to write it here, I can do this for, I can do it, but anyway, V1 is write, wrote, written, then ing is also okay. Okay, anyway, so that much is enough. Here now in a simple past, she wrote a letter. So same thing, a letter was written by her. Here that verb, because of that to be verb in a simple past now has been converted into was, whereas the same to be verb, you can do this here. To be verb has converted here into is. Okay, and in this case is being. And here it has been. The same thing here, that to be verb was converted into was here. So everything is same. Okay, so just that rules and regulations. Okay, then the next one is past continuous. So in a past continuous, she was writing a letter. She was writing a letter. Okay, so verb plus ing is coming into picture here, and also was also has come into picture here. So here was being. So that same to be verb was converted into was being. Written by her. Okay, then in a past perfect, she had written a letter. Had written a letter. Okay, so this write, wrote, written, this is already in V3 form. A letter had been written by her. So that be verb has converted into had been. Be verb has been converted into had been. So this is the way this the past tense conversion from active voice to passive voice. Then the last one, that is a future tense. In a future tense, usually what we do is the formation of future tense itself. What we do is we would like to add some modal verbs. Okay, so that is a auxiliary verbs. So in that auxiliary verbs itself, we can see. I'd like to show some. Okay, anyway, like will, shall, can. Okay, so likewise, I shall write a letter. I will write a letter. Okay, so I can write a letter. Likewise, so the future tense generally we don't have a full like future. We have here future simple, simple future, and a future perfect future perfect tenses here. Okay, only these two are available. There is no future perfect, there is no future continuous, and there is no future perfect continuous. So those two tenses are not available in case of a conversion from active voice to passive voice. Please keep that point in mind. Now, based on keeping that point in mind, look at here. She will write a letter. Will write a letter. So this V is basically in V1 form. So V1 is write. V2 is wrote. V3 is written. So always this conversion you should get in the mind while you're solving this active voice to passive voice. Okay, so you should be able to remember these lines and all. Okay, all the verbs that in V1, V2, V3 form you should be able to remember. So she will write a letter. A letter will be written by her. So that be verb form has now converted into will be. So the to be form has converted into will be. Okay, so what are the auxiliary verbs that you are going to take a help? Okay, so don't change that. So use the same thing. That's one point. So it will be written by. She will have written a letter. The future perfect is she will have written a letter. So a letter will have been written by her. Will have been written by her. So this is the way we need to do this conversion of active voice to passive voice. So I have taken this example for she. Okay, so there are so many things are there. Okay, so you can take I, then you have two varieties are there, singular and plural, then we, they, so then you can use he, it. For all those things also, you just try on your own example and then try to understand this active voice and passive voice conversion. So that is one thing here. Then sometimes in the case of active voice and passive voice itself, so there will be something called as a imperative cases. So what do you mean by imperative cases? Imperative cases are generally like commands, requests, okay, something like you can call it advice or something like so something like kind of moving into a so it's basically not negation. So we can say negation. Negation is one point. Just giving a warning, simple warning. Okay, that is also there. So here, if you look at the command point of view, shut the door. Okay, so shut the door means it's an active voice. Okay, please shut the door. So here, what happens is you can't say that. So shut the door. Shut is basically the verb, and the door is the object. Okay, so here there is no subject. So because there is no subject, you cannot do that conjugation like active voice to passive voice conversion. Okay, let the door, so like that and all you cannot do. Okay, so here for this sometimes the passive voice will be very vague here. So look at here, let the door be shut. Let the door be shut. So please help me. You are requested to help me. To help. So to is used here. Okay, to help me. So this is one way of conversion of active voice and to passive voice. So these are basically imperative sentences. So imperative sentences generally what happens is it's not a you will not see the subject here. So when you don't see the subject, what you need to do is you need to convert that into that respective form. So look at here, advice. So work hard means you are being advised to work hard. So likewise, the sentence, how the sentence is that's what you can see, how the sentence is framed. The sentence is framed in such a way that the speaker and the listener are already known, means the subject and the object. Okay, so this verb is basically here. Okay, so the speaker and the listener are already know that they are the subject and they are the object. Okay, so that's the reason why when you convert that this passive voice to active voice to passive voice, so this you is going to come into picture, or else let is going to come into picture. Let is going to be being as the subject, main subject now in case of a passive voice. So this is the one point that you should be mindful about. Then some interrogative sentences. So if it is an interrogative sentence, so how to convert that in these are examples. Okay, does, do, does, did. Okay, so does he write a letter? Okay, whenever this do we write a letter, do they write a letter, do like this. Okay, so does he write a letter, does she write a letter, then did I write a letter, did I write a letter. Now a letter is written by me. Did I write a letter, did I write a letter, does he write a letter, does she write a letter, do they write a letter, do we write a letter, like this. Okay, so whenever this the pronoun, or we can call this we can't call it yeah, okay, pronoun. So the pronoun is in singular form or plural form, or else whether that is in a first person or second person or third person. So that we should be mindful about, and based on that we need to use the verbs accordingly here. Okay, so do, does, did. Okay, likewise is, or, was, were. Okay, so here for example here is he writing a letter? Okay, but I'm going to convert into me. Okay, am I writing a letter? Am I writing a letter? Okay, so here am also will come into picture. Is, or, was, were. Okay, so is he writing a letter? Is a letter being written by him? With the has, have, had. Okay, so same thing. So has is basically used for he, she, it. So have, had, it depends upon, so we can use. Okay, we can use accordingly. Now had he, so has he written a letter? So has a letter been written by him? Yeah. So have I, or had I written a letter? Have they written a letter? Had I written a letter? Okay. So please try these examples and all. Then when come to the next one with WH questions. So who wrote this letter? Okay. So likewise, so by whom was this letter being written? Then coming to the modals, this is what I was talking about. So whenever you are using these modals, remember that you should not convert that base verbs here. So can, could, may, might, should, must, etc. So she can solve the problem. Okay, so this is the modal verb, and then solve is the actual verb. Okay, solve, 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 solved, solved. Okay, so V1, V2, V3. Okay, and so if it becomes, you need to take that yes form, so that if it is a singular person, so before solving, solves. So that difference, she can solve the problem. Okay, she solves the problem, then that we can. Okay, but here what happened, we are not going to take a V5 form directly here. So we are saying that she can solve the problem. So this becomes a future tense. So means she has not done it. Okay, the problem can be solved by her. The problem can be solved by her. So the rest of the things are same. Okay, so this is a V3 form, B form. Problem is the object here. So can is the one that we are not going to change the same modal. So modal is going to be in the same position. So this is a B verb. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By is a verb. Okay. So she, for she, the conversion of this what you can pronoun to passive voice is her. You have to look at that table here for practice. Look at this table. For she, it becomes her. Okay. That's the one. He should complete the task. Okay. He should complete the task. So the task should be completed by him. Okay, like this. Then coming to the point, some generally these are some important. This is one important point here. So what is this important point is most of the time, students generally what they do is whenever they look at a sentence, so without even trying to analyze, they try to convert the active voice into passive voice and waste the time. So you have to remember one thumb rule in case of conversion of a active voice to passive voice. That is, a active voice and passive voice, in order to convert, you need to have a subject, plus you need to have a verb, plus you need to have an object. So object must be compulsory. And also subject, generally for any sentence, generally we have a subject. Okay, so object must be compulsory to convert from active voice to passive voice. So if there is no object, then you cannot take that, like for example, I love myself. Okay, or I can say he ran fast. They're very simple. Okay, he ran fast, for example. Okay, so he ran fast. Here there is no object here. Okay, so he ran fast on the lane, ran fast on the track, So if I have a sentence like this, then I can convert, but I don't have a sentence like that here. Okay, so for that, what I need to have is I had just only here, he ran fast. So what is this meaning is the verb is actually basically playing here as a intransitive. So when the verb is playing like a intransitive, then what happens is means it's not going to look at the object, it's not going to be perform the action on the object. So this clearly becomes a subject verb underscore. Okay, so there is no object here. So when there is no object, okay, then you cannot convert the active voice to passive voice. So only transitive verbs we can take. Only transitive verbs that takes an object can be converted from active voice to passive voice. We cannot convert intransitive. Okay, so intransitive verbs like because yeah, it is there here. Okay, so intransitive verbs cannot be converted. Okay, then one more thing is if for example by plus agent is omitted, then there is no doer. Okay, look at here some example. So people speak English all over the world. The English is spoken all over the world. Okay, the English is spoken all over the world. Okay, here by agent is not at all available here. Okay, why by agent is not available is that so people speak English all over the world. So English is spoken by the people all over the world. We are not going to write like that. Why we are not going to like this? Because in some cases, so when you know something like obviously, when you know that the doer is unknown, when you know that the other person is unimportant, but you want to convey the message, such time you can convert the active voice into passive voice. So other than that, so when it is an intransitive, you cannot convert it. Okay, when the verb is in intransitive, that time you cannot convert it. Then some passive voice of sentences when two objects are there. Here, she gave me a pen. So when there are two objects here, the object is first one is I, me, and the second one is pen. Okay, she gave me a pen. So look at here how many varieties you can write. I was given a pen by her. Okay, so here in the first case, I became the subject. Okay, then given a pen became the verb with reform. Okay, that a pen has been this is given like this. Okay, then in the second case, a pen was given to me In the second case, a pen was given to me by her. Given to me by her. Okay. So was the same thing. Okay. Everything is same here. So rules and regulations, everything same. But here, when you use like this, you can use the first object or second object. So, but when you use the first object or second object, so write the sentence grammatically correct. That's only important. So the verb is here, she gave me a pen, right? So she gave, already she gave, right? So what is the verb here? To give, given. Okay. So now the verb is should be in V3 form, that you should be mindful about. So here also V3 form. That's okay. So that was here, we are using was here for a be verb because I becomes for be, right? So pen also the same thing. So the be verb is was in this case. That's it. Then everything is same. Coming to the next one, passive voice for infinitives and gerunds. So we know that if we write for a verb, if you take a base verb and write ing, add ing to it, so this is basically becomes a gerund. Okay. Then if you add verb before to, this becomes an infinitive. Okay, infinitive. Now here I want to write a letter. What is happening here? I want to write a letter. It's an infinitive. So we are using infinitive verbs here. Okay. I want a letter to be written. So this you should be mindful. Okay. So previously writing generally will be to be written. So I am writing a letter. A letter is being written by me. Okay. You just before more than this understanding like this, be mindful about tenses here. So use the tenses. This is the right way. This slide is the right way. So simple present, present continuous, and present perfect. Then simple past, past continuous, past perfect. Then future simple and future perfect. So this will actually come under this infinitive or that category. So in gerunds, so that you can tackle that. Okay. The next one is when we use the causative verbs. So what do you mean by causative verbs? So causative verbs are make, have, get, like this. Okay. So for that you need to add was made to. Okay. She made him cry. She was made to cry. She was made to cry. She was made to cry. Then for example here, have or get, same thing. Okay. So I had the mechanic repaired by, I had the mechanic repaired the car. I had the car repaired by the mechanic. Right? Yeah. Repaired. The mechanic. So likewise, you can change something, sentence or something. These are simple examples. Then sometimes we cannot actually state who the person is, or we can, so the sentence are generally in a vague sentence, okay, or else universal sentences. Then so the passive voice for that will be it is said. So we don't know who the actual author or who actually said, but the sentence should be transferred. So people say that he is honest. So it is said that he is honest. He is said to be honest. So that is also right. Both are right. Okay. So it is better to use it is said that he is honest. That's the right way. It is said that he is honest. These are common errors generally. So a letter is a letter written by her. A letter a letter written by her is not right answer, not right one, because you need to use a be verb here. Okay, a letter is being written by her. The song is being sung, so be mindful about the verbs here: sing, sang, sung. So V1, V2 and V3. Okay, so the song is being sung like this. Some examples. Then the last one here, I wanted you to remember this table for exam, summary table. So we can call this as a simple, everything is in one chart. So if you look at the tenses, then helping verbs and main verbs here. So in a simple present, okay, so she is writing a letter, I am writing a letter, we are writing a letter, like this. Okay, so these are some rules and regulations. You can actually have it. Okay, for a present perfect, for a present continuous, so is, am, or plus you have to use being. Okay, then present perfect, present perfect, so you have to use has or have been. For a past simple, you need to use was, were. For past continuous, you have to use was, were plus being. So likewise, past perfect, so had plus been. Then for a future simple, will or shall plus be. Okay, so I will love you, or I will drive the car, I shall come there. Okay, so future perfect, will, shall plus have been. Okay, so this verb, you look at the verb, main verb here. So main verb, the V3 form is not going to change in case of a conversion from active to passive. Okay, so that's one relief here. So rest of the things are, you need to be mindful about how the helping verbs will change in a passive voice. So this comes under the category, the things related to active voice and passive voice. Now to summarize this active voice and passive voice, so the basic or simple definition is, we can say the voice which refers to a form where that it shows that whether the subject is doing the action or performs the action, or the action is performed by the subject, performed on the subject. Okay, so this is basically the simple definition. So if it is an active voice, what will happen? The subject performs an action. If it is a passive voice, the subject receives the action. Okay, so that's the only difference, nothing else. And keeping all these things in points in mind, I hope you understood the concept of this active voice and passive voice. So this active voice and passive voice is asked in most of the competition examination. So look at this video and then try to listen some. If you are unable to catch it, try to listen 2 times or 3 times also. So make sure that you are perfect in this concept, and then do some examples on your own and try some previous year question papers, so that you will be able to solve any competition examination. I wish you good luck, and we'll meet again. Until then, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel and press the like button, and then share this channel. We'll see you again. Bye.